Hey guys, it's Captain Forrest here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over both these combatants to see who would win more often than not in an inverse situation. Rebirth Superman versus Superboy Prime. If you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. Also, shouts to the Coffee Shop Gang. Their links will be in the description. They all make awesome content, please check them out. Also shoutouts to the HQ Squad, they also make awesome content too. Shouts to Korin, shouts to Benjamin and everyone else. Now I'm gonna go ahead, dive right into this inverse battle. Now me and some others, we've also been talking about this fight, you know, back and forth. This fight's pretty interesting in inverse situation. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start off with Superman first. I'm gonna talk about some of his fights. Let's get right into it. Superman is able to physically hurt Nebula Man, who is a living universe itself. Pre and post crisis Superman are relative to each other, as they both stalemated each other and would scale to each other. Those Supermen really went at it, and their clash was affecting the full-on 11th dimensional structure. In that context, this would equate to high complex multiversal plus. So overall, this would mean both pre and post crisis scale from the ranges of universal plus, low multiversal, multiversal plus, to high complex multiversal plus. Now, depending on how you interpret their fight, that feat alone could arrange only to low multiversal if you do not include the statements and the context behind pre-crisis and post-crisis fight, but it's pretty safe to say, and pretty blatant and evident, and via scaling and statements and feats, that feat alone that they performed is high complex multiversal plus. So Rebirth Superman should also have these ranges of attack power, as I went over in the summary. Now Rebirth Superman was amped when he demonstrated this impressive feat where he one-shots the World Forger, who came from the 6th dimension. And as mentioned in my previous videos, I go over the cosmology scaling in detail, but long story short, this amped Superman who absorbed many suns would scale around high altiversal. So that's going to round up all of these Superman in terms of AP. So Superman has his heat vision, it can negate intangibility, and it affects people on a molecular level. Superman also can freeze people with his ice breath, and can also create a dust storm with his breath. Superman has enhanced senses and hearing. He is able to hear someone in a crowd of 11 million via hearing their heartbeat. He can also tell what materials you are wearing based off the noise and clothing that it makes, such as knowing 10 was wearing Kevlar. Superman can smell your tears. He also has microscopic vision, being able to see subatomic particles. Superman can also see spirits, so he has spiritual awareness. So that's going to round up those feats for Superman. I'm going to go ahead and move on to his resistances. Superman is able to survive in a cosmic storm which affects you on an atomic level. Superman has survived attacks from Blackrock, who is piercing him on a subatomic level. Superman is able to survive and push on after taking a magical arrow to his soul, which was inducing fear and hopelessness, and Superman was able to pull through. Superman is able to resist Eclipso's mental influence. Superman is protected by invulnerable aura. Superman's willpower helps him resist and adapt to people and hexes. He can push himself with his willpower, and Superman also uses his willpower to power up a Green Lantern beam by 20%. Superman also has his Type 3 and conceptual Type 8 immortality. He can heal from physical injuries, and Superman's story will not allow Superman to die or be in very rough situations. He will continue to come back, and as long as hope exists, Superman will come back. Okay, so that's going to round up Rebirth Superman. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Superboy himself. I'm going to talk about Superboy Prime, talk about his feats and impressive scaling that he's demonstrated as well. Superman Prime was able to smile off attacks from Black Adam, who laced his fists with magical lightning. Superboy notes, they tickle, and then he proceeded to one-shot Black Adam. Superboy is a team buster. He was able to go on to completely destroy and lay waste to the JSA, the Teen Titans, and the Doom Patrol. He one-shots them, pretty much all of them. Superboy Prime also noted that he wasn't even trying when he fought against the JSA, the Teen Titans, and the Doom Patrol as well. So he was just ripping them apart. pretty casually. Superboy Prime was able to fight against 2 Supermen, physically hurt them. This would include the scaling that pre-crisis and post-crisis performed when they affected the 11th dimension. So that's like a high complex multiversal plus feat right there, but obviously if you don't include the context behind it, the feat would only be like low multi, but that's easily high complex multiversal plus. And Superboy Prime was able to scrap with the Green Lantern Corp, and he completely bullies them. He destroys a lot of the Green Lanterns with ease. This is impressive because Green Lantern rings are extra dimensional in nature, making them 4D. So in terms of AP, Superboy Prime would range around Uni Plus, Low Multi to Multiversal Plus. I'll go more into detail near the end of the video, but pretty much he should be ranging around those areas of AP pretty consistently. So Superboy Prime has his heat vision, which vaporizes things just like Superman pretty much. He can also perform ice breath. Superboy, he was able to demonstrate his most infamous ability, the retcon punch, where he pretty much changes the person's history when he punches, and he was able to do this to Beast Boy. Superboy can also get out of BFR or ceiling by punching his way out, such as his feat where he punched out of the Phantom Zone. Now, I'd like to give more context behind this feat. This would not make Superboy Prime multiversal. This is a unquantifiable feat, as he didn't affect the entirety of the Phantom Zone. For example, if I punch a hole through a building, let's say I punch a hole through a building wall to escape the building, like that wouldn't make me building level, like that wouldn't equate to building level. So that's essentially what Superboy Prime did. He just did it to get out, and he didn't affect the Phantom Zone in its entirety. So that'd be like unquantifiable scaling. Superboy has also demonstrated to escape the Speed Force after being thrown inside of it, which is very impressive. Superboy doesn't have any weakness to magic like Superman, and Superboy can also perform the Thunderclap too. And lastly, it's also noted that Superboy's retcon punch also alters reality and changes the events as well, which is pretty impressive. So overall, Superboy should have the same powers as the other Supermen. Pretty much enhanced senses, flight, heat vision, ice breath. AP wise, he should range around Uni Plus to Low Multi to Multi Plus, or High Complex Multiversal Plus. So looking into this fight from an inverse situation, an inverse perspective, we have to look at both feats that were performed. So of course they both have like multi plus scaling, low multi, but we need to look a little bit more higher, and even in the unquantifiable realms of AP, and what the feats that they have performed from an inverse situation standpoint, not from a crossverse standpoint. So let's look at both feats. So Rebirth Superman, we'll talk about him first, and I'll talk about Superboy Prime afterwards. So Rebirth Superman, of course, he performed the World Forger feat where he was amped by those suns. He didn't do it in base. That's very impressive. The other superheroes couldn't do it, of course. They just couldn't do anything to World Forger. So now if we look at Superboy Prime and contrast the feats, like I think Superboy Prime's feat is a lot more impressive, especially with his fight with the Darkest Knight. Now yes, granted the Darkest Knight was suppressed, but he was able to actually hurt the Darkest Knight on his own, despite he did come up short, but he did way better compared to any of the other superheroes. Narratively, you know, if we look at this from a narrative standpoint and from an inverse standpoint, like why didn't the other superheroes just go in and fight the Darkest Knight? Yes, you could argue they were fighting the like the rest of his goons, the gremlins, who basically were infected, but like that's not really necessarily a plausible excuse, because if that was the case, you know, why didn't the superheroes just one-shot them all and go fight Darkest Knight? In fact, they were having to freaking put in work against the Darkest Knight's goons. And we also see like Superboy Prime go in and actually do pretty decently, even despite the fact that the Darkest Knight was trying not to use full power on him. He was just trying to basically fight him with less power. Now, this feat is far more impressive than the World Forger feat that Superman performed, because the Darkest Knight from scaling, and inherently he is above the anti-monitors. He's above Perpetua. He embarrassed and beat the living breaks out of Perpetua. He gave her the bloody stepdad beating when you come home late from school. So just definitively in inverse, this is far more impressive than like the World Forger stuff. So, and Superman just hasn't shown anything else after that, the World Forger stuff. So if we see them fight again, and we use the scaling, of course, like Superboy Prime should take victory. I think he just two-shots Superman, one-shots him in my opinion, but you know, it could go back and forth. But I think I have to lean a little bit more so with Superboy Prime. I think Superboy Prime just has better inverse scaling, should scale unquantifiably higher than Superman, and just based off showings, it's just far more impressive than what Rebirth Superman has shown. So in my opinion, and based off my interpretation as well as objective standpoints, feats and scaling and objective truths and everything put together, I personally think if this was to go down in a fight, I think Superboy Prime would come out on top. But yes guys, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.